Pisces. Star connection is all over your spread of oracle cards today. Again, I love how the readings flow. You have star seed, starborn, connection with the stars, guidance from the stars, galactic self, everywhere. And we were talking about that yesterday, I think. It came through the channeling. And you started here with the Starborn, number 3. I was saying how special you are, Pisces, that yesterday there was this card of unique gifts. The difference, who you are, is, when we say star seed, it's just this higher frequency, higher sensibility that you have that connects you higher and deeper to life in general, to the cosmos, to the universe, to angels, other beings, the invisible, the intangible. Here you have got the courageous Peony, multifaceted, unique nature. Let yourself be seen. I'm sorry about the noise, but we do what we have. So there's a sense of maybe you having so many different talents that you don't know how to find what is a channel, what is the focus that you need to put yourself on. But Pisces, really, maybe it is not a problem to have different avenues that you're looking at. Maybe we were talking about choice yesterday. Maybe you feel like you have to make a choice. Okay, I have to do this or that. But maybe, especially if you are a star seed and you are here, if you're here listening, there is this sense of, when it has to do with the spiritual really can englobe all of life. It can englobe art, it can englobe music, it can englobe, actually we have sound here. A lot of you can maybe heal others through sound. Yesterday we have the crystals, the energy, there's plants, you have shamanic signs here, restore, time out for you, nature. Some of you are very connected to animals, can whisper, horse whispering, dog training, all of this. All of the underlying force is your attunement that is higher and connected to the invisible, which maybe can be seen as abnormal. Normally, we talk about, okay, this is normal, this is not normal, but maybe you are the normality of the magical world. Maybe this world, the material world, is not normal when it comes to the truth of who we actually are. So there's the sense here of you being a mystic. Again, the Starborn, we have empathic starseed. We talked about your higher sensitivity yesterday, energetic sovereignty, absorbing what's not yours. So you are still learning here to protect your energy, but it's not protecting yourself in a way that you put a wall and you close yourself off from the world and you go into separation mode, difference. You are able to be so much, a lot of air, and it's actually natural ventilation, so I'm actually enjoying it, but we need privacy here as well. So I'm just gonna see how this works today. Personal power here, the tiger, has to do with extreme willpower, but also is very grounded on the earth, and the shamanic world here. By the way, if you hear another language, it's Shipibo here. I'm in a native community of the Shipibos. That is very high energy, and I'm learning a lot. But basically, personal power here. This has to do with the solar plexus that we saw yesterday. It has to do with the power, the fire within that we also saw yesterday. But here it's blue, so there's this connection here with this card, star connection, guidance from the stars, galactic self. unified field. So again, we're talking about holistic, unifying, not separating. Not separating the spiritual from the material, because maybe again the spiritual is underlying everything, and that's how you express that in this material world doesn't have to be chosen or labeled, or maybe you are going to be creating something completely new, maybe a new thing that was never done before. And that's the beauty of Pisces, that because you've been through all the signs, all of the signs, all of the labels, all of the categories, and you are very, 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 very intense wind. And I feel that this is the whisper. It's the whisper that you are, by this strength that you have in your spirit. Your spirit is that strong. And at this time, by the end of October, as we're going towards Halloween, which is again the connection with the spirit world, is very, the wall is very thin, so you can actually connect even more so. And I think that right now you are going through this process. We saw a huge transformation yesterday, and I think that you need to just have this self-confidence in your vision. You have a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. So whatever there's this big earth here. It's personal for you, but it has to do with the collective as well. Again, no separation between you, your individual path, and the service that you bring to the world, because you are definitely connected. If you're Starborn, you have this kind of mission where you're going to be serving more than you in a selfless way, the compassion, the higher frequency of Pisces. And whatever you're exploring right now, there's exploration card here. I think that you're asked to really not give up, even if sometimes it feels like, wow, I'm lost, I don't know. You have number 11, master number, dark night of the soul. Life brings new meaning. You are going through such a drastic process of transformation that the old identity that you thought was yours is collapsing, and that's hard. The dark night of the soul really to me brings Scorpio, and we are in Scorpio, this huge transformation that takes place, but it's very deep shamanic. It's really going into the core soul of the fragments of the soul. Actually, you got this number 33, which is master number, again, very, very significant. Balance will be restored. So right now there's like a soul retrieval happening, where you are maybe going so deep that you are seeing the hurts that you've done to others, or maybe hurts that have been done to you, but you're getting to that wisdom point where you're able to get to forgiveness, true forgiveness in your heart. You have the heart that came through here. Heart here. I see some romantic stuff happening here. We definitely had men holding your heart. So for some of you in this material human world, it's also happening in that very personal way. But there is, as you are building here a new life for yourself, you are doing so by going at the core, the root core of your depth, of your shadow. We have the dead end here. This hand is saying stop. It's saying also to other energies, stop. This is me, it's inside, and as I go deeper into the darkness, as I recognize it, I don't judge it. I see it as the balance between the light and the dark within me. I rise. The fire, the crown is open, because there's been this search, this diving deep, and not being afraid of going there. It is really once we accept totally who we are at the depth core that we're able to rise. And that's, this equilibrium, which is the paradox of life. We have depth of love here. Let go of fear to jump into love. Let go beyond attachment. So learning love, we were talking about that yesterday, learning what true love is. Not being afraid of jumping into pure love, the pure love of the kid that is not afraid, that is not playing games, manipulating, having security issues, that is attaching itself, codependency issue as well. Finding the right space between your energy, loving someone, but not becoming the other, or being over-giving, or being over-concerned about others, or attached. There's this really sane way of living and being the love that radiates from you, and maybe personally to one person, but it's not, there's no obsession, no grabbing onto the other. And that's crucial, and we need to practice this, especially when we are in this relationship, where we need to always jump into the higher frequency. And when we're tested and triggered, obviously, by this relationship, we need to recognize it and go deeper into ourselves to find, okay, why am I feeling this way, and not react and start to repeat the patterns from the past. Be able to rise and rise and rise into this light. There's a lot of emphasis on the communication as well, Pisces. You have light language, universal language of oneness. Again, this oneness, unity of love. Listen with your heart. Learning to listen to someone, receive, and sometimes maybe not respond, just being silent, just receiving with his unconditional love. We're talking about the pure love of the kids, that's not playing games, but also the love of the mother, the unconditional sense of caring, but also the real mother can also say and has to say no and let go of the kid. The kid is in her womb, right, for 9 months, and then she has to let it go. And that's the first act of love, to let go, right? So really this paradox of I truly, purely love so I can let go doesn't mean that you're letting go, separating from a person. It's much more subtle than that. It's just a light frequency where you have so much purity inside your heart that you don't need the other person around you, or you're not attached to that person. But you can feel. But at this point of wisdom of the heart and of love, you're able to truly share that love and not get into possessiveness or the illusion that this is mine, and what is mine and who am I. Going beyond yourself, you go beyond the sense of me and the other. So then you're just love, and this grandiose love is more than you, more than this person, but it's also simultaneously existing in this very personal way between you and the other person. But the emphasis, the focus is not on that. The focus is solely on the light. And so in that way, this can happen in a very light, spacious way. We have all this air here. It's relaxed. It's, there's space, there's absence, there's missing, but there's no grabbing, there's no, there's caring, but there's not going overboard. That's the thing, Pisces. And we're learning, we're adjusting to that way of being. And you're finding that in this silence, this desert here, which, there's just one hand here that is left. There is, here it feels like it's maybe the stop point, where the stillness point, where you find that maybe the water that you thought was nurtured by the other is not needed. That maybe you're like a camel, you're able to have this endurance, you can keep going, and you can also be fully you, nurtured by you in this space, and not overflowing with the water, with the emotion, right? There's no water in the desert. There is really the heat. There's also, the mirages that come, like when you're in the desert or, on the pilgrimage and mountain, there's a transcendence of the body that happens. It's all about going higher, maybe becoming one with this silence, this spaciousness within yourself and your body, which transpires in your relationship. Your body is connected energetically to other bodies. And so this love, physical, that we always, find very physical with another person in a love relationship, maybe you're finding that it's not that important, that you don't need the security of touching or being touched by the other person, but maybe just by the energetic presence that comes from your center, you can find the sensuality in that. You have Eros here and the Maiden. This calls to definitely eroticism and sexuality as well, the physical, the human part of love. But here you might be again going through this soul retrieval and dark night of the soul, where is it again? Yeah, dark night of the soul, where you're learning about, again, why am I so insecure? Why do I need always the presence of the other in me? Or why am I so concerned about what they're doing? Or who are they with? Or all of this very petty stuff that happens in the majority of relationships. But right now you are rising, you are getting into this unconditional love, true love, which brings to you only this frequency, and there's not so much of this pain in the past, over emotion and over stress and burden of romantic relationships. You are definitely, Pisces, getting into the mysticism of peace. You got Xu Xiangying here for the Divine Feminine. I am peace. If my mind is scattered, my path also is. It is in Spanish here. But it talks a lot about here, how do we do all this, or we become all this? It's all about here, the mind. How strong is your focus? It's a concentration, but it's a relaxed concentration. It's a concentration that allows space. So it's not so much being concerned about what the physical eyes see, and perceive, the physical body of the other and all that. It's about getting into place, this spaciousness within you, and energetic presence and lightness and relaxation, but being so, focused on that within. And it will be different for each and every one of you. You have to find how this works, but it's like a mantra. Some of you, it could be a sound, it could be an image that could help you always come back to this full relaxation, full center in my own body, guarding your energy here. And being completely and totally in this love space, because really total relaxation is love, because you feel your heart, you feel light. When this mind is empty, meaning solely concentrated in nothing, which again is a paradox, usually it's full of garbage. Yeah, it's always blah 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 blah. But when you're able to have this focus, internal visualization, but it's also more a feeling. It's a whole body feeling. You're so here, and so you can breathe freely. You feel light. You might see light. You feel the energy in your body. You'll start feeling your own heart, and that is exactly that space where you are so serene and so peaceful that whatever happens during the day doesn't affect that. That whatever relationship you are in, or whatever presence, or the person can be here or not here, your loved one, it doesn't really matter. It adds to your well-being, to your peace, but it doesn't take away from it. And you don't get out of balance when there is the physical presence of the other here, especially if it's your true love or someone very close to you. You have the Star Keeper here, cosmic ancestors. Seek the light by staying grounded. That's what we're talking about when we say staying grounded. Grounded, Pisces. Grounded in here. And here. You have protection again here, protection, but again, it's not closing in a rigidity. It's being so full of spaciousness and light that this is your natural. It's a natural protection. It's not something that you do. It's only something that you drop into, which is already here. It's just that we are always kind of turned outwards, and that brings tension and stress. We are out. But once you are here, you know, when you just wake up, or the moment you go to sleep, there is this full relaxation that happens. That's what we're talking about. Is that you can feel all of your muscles. There's no tension whatsoever. You can feel the emptiness. You can feel how the energy can flow, and it's fluid, and there's no contraction anywhere. Start with the physical body. It will help you find this calmness and bring that into your life. You will see how things start to happen more magically. And I see abundance happening here. I see recognition happening right now in maybe small ways, but you are definitely going towards that, Pisces. The orphan to me is really significant, you know, with this hand here. The hand is going into towards this flower, right? And you have the maiden also with the hand and the flower here. To me, this is really talking about and calling to this card, you're not alone. Isolation, physical connection, community. I think that we are learning to actually feel the presence of aloneness, which is different from loneliness. Loneliness feels like a separation, where we're longing for something, we're waiting for something, we're still turned to the outside. But we want to come back here where there's nothing. We're full. And this love is brought in a way that is not even brought to anyone or anything. It's just here. And that's being felt, and things happen naturally. They come naturally. There's no forcing anything. When you're forcing, there is a contraction, there's a stress, there is a personalization. Again, when you're there, it's not against a personal connection, but it's not the focus. The personal connection is not the focus. It's part of it. You are more expanded. And we have expanded, and the door opens. That's when the door opens, when your heart opens higher than a particular attachment. That's what they were talking about here, the depth of love. And right now, if you need more space alone, restoring like we saw, this is a time for it. Now, for some of you, you're learning, we had the light language here, universal language of oneness, of love, listen with your heart. Yeah, definitely also learning to, maybe sometimes you feel like you know things, you know, your intuition is so high that you know things before they happen, but you are learning patience, where even if you know, sometimes you just need others to catch up with you, and just with tolerance and patience, and not, oh, I know, you know, the ego can take a step up, and we don't want that. We want to be able to always stay humble and just be beyond ourselves, because if you are listening to someone, it means that you don't have an ego that needs to talk. The talking is like, there is a sense of, I need to express, I need to say this, because there's a compulsion there. Someone who can be really silent, you know, has more wisdom, because there is such a fullness of, I'm good, I'm fine, I'm content, I'm full, I don't need anything, I don't need to say anything. But then you can listen more fully to someone. It could be a particular romantic partner, but it could be anyone. So learning to just be okay. More lightness of being, Pisces. And also, what happens is, like, when you talk, then the words come out of you, but it's not really, it doesn't come from an ego place where I know this and I have, you know, in a very limited way, and I have to say this way. There is something that happens where it's more channeling, where what kind of happens here in those readings, where it just comes through and it's the right thing at the right time that comes through, and you're not attached to what you said. You're not attached to maybe what you said made somebody feel good or not feel good. You don't even care. You are so there that nothing else matters. Whatever comes out and comes in just is a flow, but you are just in this space. Now, we had this card talking about communication, yeah? Communication. Lala, she's the saint of the words that are pronounced, that are said. Each word that I say is converted into a sentence. I am the author of my own story. So that's really crucial, Pisces, because there's a sense of, again, yeah, you are writing your own story right now. You are creating your own life, and maybe in a very unique way. And don't be afraid of that, because it's going to bring for sure abundance here. You have here a mission, a purpose that is beyond you. So let go of fear. You have divine will. Follow the call. Follow the intuition that you have. But here what is said is that every word that you say has a frequency, and every word that is said brings a sentence, yeah? So it's being more mindful of what we say, maybe what we need to say less, maybe listen more, and just be a true... I know that you're always really a good listener, Pisces, but sometimes, again, especially right now, there might be a compulsion of knowing stuff and wanting to say it, and it comes in an abrupt way. We need to, again, if we are in this space of more calmness and serenity, we need to find the balance between actually expressing, because we don't want to just be silent, yeah? We don't want to express the sound here. Maybe you need to express in a creative way. Express it in music or art, or, in this way will be better received, because the way that you think and see things is very mystical, and it's hard to actually communicate that with people in the regular world. So it might be that it has to come through a creative outlet. That could be a better way than to try to express it directly to a person like that. Sometimes some people are not ready also to hear stuff. So maybe sometimes you see what you need to tell them, and you know what would help them, but there is the love, non-interference. The wise man, the wise shaman, the wise teacher sometimes knows and sees everything in the moment, but also knows that there is a divine timing. There is also what can be said in the moment, what cannot be said. So it's not about the ego expressing what it has on their mind right now, right there, I know, and that's how it is. There is a learning how to bring those intuitions, those higher languages of light maybe, or visions into this real world, this reality. The real world. What is the real world? Maybe the visible is the spiritual world is more real. But again, here, there's no separation. There's a oneness where all is inclusive. All is real. The dream is real. This world is real. But maybe sometimes we could ask ourselves, what is truly real? What is something that never changes? What doesn't disappear? Or does everything disappear? We are just going deeper here, Pisces, and I'm feeling that there's a shift here where you're finding definitely more lightness and more calm and more relaxation. And if you're not, you're asked to really restore, take that time out for you right now. Protect the energy. You need to find the balance between the alone time when you're alone and with other people. For you, it's extremely important as you're an empathic starseed and you absorb what's not yours. Soon you will learn to be able to be amidst a lot of people all the time, but still be in your own energy and not take any of what is around you. You're learning this process, Pisces. Okay? So I hope you heard something today because there was so much noise. But I love you. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you in the tarot. Take care. Bye bye.